Coast, DC, New York, Virginia, you know, all up and down
Okay.
the East Coast.
Okay. All right. So, what are you doing out here in LA at this time?
You know, the women in weed. No, I'm joking. No,
Yeah, but you already said I don't really drink that, but women and weed.
yeah, like he contradicted himself
Right.
already. But no, I just wanted to come out to LA, you know, and handle some business. I got to meet some people for a film and stuff. To come on your show finally, and I'm not here that long, but I'm loving it. I'm loving it out here.
Right. Despite the being immune from the bad Uber.
Yeah, I
driver.
mean that was the only like mishap I've had. thus
Yeah,
far.
but that's so like, get out.
Yeah, it was.
We don't know where you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
but
it was
this is
mad
it.
rude. I'm like, dude, like
You're going to risk your star, buddy. We're talking 1 star.
I gave him
status,
1
if
star.
any.
Yeah, I
wouldn't
gave him
give
1 star.
Actually, Uber will refund your ride.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely. Right. My he's got his headphones in. He'll let you know when you have a problem. Because I had a problem with a guy who took me like a ridiculous gazoo way around something, and I complained, and I was refunded It was $27 in the wrong direction.
Wow.
So I was kind of like, yo. I said it was raining. He didn't have a windshield that worked. Like it died on the sidewalk.
Damn,
He says, don't worry, I can see real good if I look, and I look between, like in the middle underneath the.
What?
Oh yeah.
So he's kind of driving.
So he's driving. The car smells like rotten piss. And I'm like, how does this guy possibly have? Is this what Uber's all about?
Was that?
And they were like,
I think
okay.
I think that was the guy that kicked me out.
The guy?
His car smelled like bad luck and onions. I was like, damn, dude. I walked in there. I got in his car. And I'm like, yo, like for real, like this what we doing here today? Like, you don't believe in Febreze at all.
No, it's really interesting how there's certain things that you make note of. Now, my board guy here drives. And he's got the fancy ass car. He gets the high end clientele.
Nice.
Hush, hush.
He looked
Nobody's
high-end,
business.
too. I can
That's right.
tell.
This man works for tips, not information, people. So just so you know, you can't get anything out of him.
Well, if you give a Uber or Lyft driver a 1, you probably not going to get your money back, but they will never pair you with him.
Oh, okay.
So-
Okay, and then if you write a negative response and tell them why you gave him a 1, they may pull him from the platform. They could drop him.
He should be pulled from the platform.
Yeah.
Imagine I said to him, first of all, you're in L.A.
Yeah.
That's kind of a long,
Right,
dark street, right?
Right.
And he's like, all right, you're out.
Yeah, he kicked me on somebody's driveway. I'm like, dude, what if they thought I was trespassing? You know?
Right, nowadays,
Right,
right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm like, yo.
I didn't know if you noticed I was black.
Exactly.
Up here. I was up here in my blackness. I don't want to be wandering around somebody's yard I don't know. Guy can't even pick up his own trash
And then
in his own yard.
Yeah, and then I don't know if that was the way because it was an Uber pool, and it's so like I'm standing over there like on Fairfax in West Hollywood. So like the dude driving through, I seen this on Boys in the Hood, so I was familiar. I was like, dude driving through Crenshaw and Slauson. I'm like, that's the way we supposed to be going. I'm like, oh snap! I'm glad I'm wearing a black shirt. That's all I'm saying.
Right? You got to wonder about that.
Yeah, that's
you,
right.
You
I'm like,
know,
why did
and
he come
it
this
is
way?
some shade out there when you get in a car. You don't know who you're dealing
like,
with
oh
or
my
what you're
God.
dealing with. Or the guy that smells like he's been drinking.
Oh man,
He's stinking and drinking, and he's driving you as you're on the go. Just to my next possible moment alive, I need to get out. Yeah, it's really interesting perspective as far as being in a city where you're dependent on other than your own comforts.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like, do you have a rule as far as if you go to a party, do you take your own car? I mean, Uber's kind of eliminated all that because you can
Yeah.
always call an Uber. But I've gone where, you drive together and that person's like, all right, I want to leave now. And I'm like, what the? Yeah, I'm not having a good time. And I'm like, girl, partying it up. Everything's just going just right. Have you had that happen?
Well, I'm always the designated driver.
All right.
I always get stuck with that responsibility. So, yeah.
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 Do you do any of that on stage for your stand-up routine as far as, working it in as your lifestyle as designated driver? The guy who's, you're the nice guy.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, the girl's like, I got to bring you home. My mom wants me to be seen the nice guy. If I'm going to create the illusion, you be the guy, right? Because moms love you.
Yeah, so I'm kind of dating this girl, I think.
Kind of dating. I like that.
Yeah, and then so like, she was like, we had went out to like dinner. She's like, my mom said, hi. I was like, oh, so the moms like me. Yes, that's good. Boom.
Yeah, but that can be double-sorted because then, like if I had daughters And when they were about a certain age, I was kind of like, okay, so this guy is no. So when she brings him home, I'm like, oh my God, you should marry this guy. I love him. This guy. And then the girl kind of looking at you like, I don't know if I want to marry a guy that my mama likes. You know, it's just like this thing that women will like.
See,
right?
yeah, see, like, or, you know,
Well,
all that type.
we were talking about this, okay, with some of the women, and about men who open your door, and the girl goes, "Oh, that guy always opens the door." Yeah, and my response was, "What hotel does he work at?" I mean, come on, right? And then we were like, "Okay, well, if you go into an event, oh, there I am. If you go into an event or a restaurant, great. You know, the gentleman should open your door. You're all dressed up. The idea of trying to maneuver all of our heels, so the guy opens the door." But and the guy goes, "Well, if I'm just taking you like CVS, I'm not opening the door." Now the older one was like, "Bullshit! You know, you're opening my door." And the younger woman like, you know, I don't know about that. What's your thought?
It depends on the woman, you know. It really depends on the woman. Like I was having a conversation about this earlier with a friend. Like you gotta assess women these days because you can't just like approach all
One
women.
size fits all.
Yeah, you can't.
No pun intended.
yeah, like you can't. Because some women don't want to be treated like, you know, respectfully, and that's a reality. It's weird. Like, it's
Where like what have we become?
exactly. So it's like, you know, if you're nice to like, you know, one woman, like she might respect it. Oh my God, he's nice. I might put
Well,
up
wait,
first.
you have sisters, right?
4, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, usually I find that with a lot of the guys that I've interviewed that have a lot of sisters in their family, they're a lot different than the guys I've met that have no girls in the family. I mean, seriously, because it's something, you know, you get an understanding of all the insanity, the chaos, the drama, the emotion,
PMS.
yeah, everything. Like you've been in nothing, woman. You've got a comfort zone. I guess most women feel comfortable around a guy who's had a lot of sisters. But I would think that would make such great comedy.
Yeah, like I got 4 4 sisters, a bunch of aunts, bunch of lady cousins. I think I'm like a woman master, you know. At like
Okay.
at like 26.
You like the woman whisperer? Is that what you're
Yeah,
telling
like
me?
at 26, I think I master women. I can confidently say I master women.
See, and all the older guys are like, brother, you don't even know, right? Right? What do you think? He's mastered women at 26. What's your thought? Good luck with it. He said because he has sisters and a lot of women.
That helps.
There's no help for you.
No.
They're all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I like some. So like I.
Good to know. Bobby Stamps, thank you for letting me know that. I see you said that the sound was muted, and now we back. Yeah, we're trying to work out a little bit about tweaking our technical difficulties. And then a friend of mine said, invite me in. So what does that mean?
Well, if you're doing it from your phone, you can bring them in, but we're using an external system. So
I don't want to tell. It's Priscilla. No, Priscilla, you can't come in. It's my this. She go. Oh shit, I'm in trouble now. Yeah, you know, it's really kind of cool how, you know, meeting you now in person and talking to you online it's like you really are. You're not much different. I mean, there are some. What do they call that? Fish something when you
Catfish?
get catfish.
Ah, yeah.
Right?
Nah, it's what you see is what you get with me. Like,
Right?
yeah, that's the easiest
Has that ever
way to
happened to
live.
you? Have you ever been catfish?
All the time.
Shit.
All the time. I get catfish all the time. I mean, that's the reality of, you know, living, you know, in 2019 in the social media area, you get catfish a lot.
Well, you're right, because with all the filters that they have,
they with the filters, you take the filters off, they be looking like donkeys sometimes.
like beer goggles, 24/7 online.
It was something really funny. My ex-girlfriend, she was. I'm not gonna give her airtime, but she was gorgeous, right? And we were dating at the time. So a girl tried to catfish me using my girlfriend's picture.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And I was like, come on. I know her. Like, yeah.
That's kind of scary stuff.
It was weird. It was because she had like followed me on Instagram. And I was like, she made a new profile, and then I sent it to her, and she was like, no, that's not me. I was like, oh wow, so somebody just tried to.
That's just not right on so many levels.
Sick.
Now I also know that you said something about you had a pilot that was being looked at, or something that you had.
The TV pilot. So it's something that I started working on with my former manager. 2 years ago now, we was working on it. He was out here, and I was, on the East Coast in New York and stuff. We was developing this like series, and pretty much he was just like stringing me along for 2 years. Like, oh yeah, you just wait a little bit.
Oh, so
So I just got annoyed, and I just shot it myself. We shot it early February, and I just released it a couple days ago, yesterday actually. Yeah.
And you're that's really cool. Yeah. It really is amazing. I don't think people realize if you don't have patience and consistency and stamina and dedication, don't come out to LA. Don't come out to LA, because
you gotta be a wolf.
You gotta be a wolf. But it's not just that. It's like the word consistency and how important that is, because it means you're committed. And that's very admired, and as such as where people have said that. And these are things that I've been taught by listening to people as to what people look at as far as seeing you as, I should say, successful, bound, or someone to watch, or that type of thing where people are kind of paying attention to what you're doing, because they're watching either your constant motion, right? And they get to see through what's real and what's like Tinseltown veneered over stuff. And you can't, like, the whole idea of being in the industry is, as you know, you can't set like, if I don't make it in 5 years, I'm out. Because, I've met comedians 23 years in, and they say it never ends.
Yeah, it happens differently for everyone, and every dog has his day, as as the saying is. So you just got to be patient, consistently do the work. Like one prime example, Tiffany Haddish, like she just like popped, as they say, 2 years ago?
Right, on that movie.
Girls Trip. But I remember being in like middle school watching Tiffany Haddish on Bill Bellamy at like a stand-up show. This was like in 2005, and she was on that. So it happens differently.
Yeah, I do have to laugh, because when I first came out, the advice Alonzo Bowden gave, he said, it took me 8 years to become an overnight success.
Yep.
So don't think you're going to do this. And, I'm so sarcastic. I was like, oh, you mean I can't do it in 30 days? 30 days or less? Should I just go back? Oh, shit, really? So,
you could do it if you're like an Instagram model, but that doesn't last long.
And then it's like minute stardom, right?
Yep.
Do you remember the Gong Show? Well, no, you're really young, but you remember, anything that premise of a Gong Show?
Yeah, like they hit the
gong. Chuck Berry was the producer of it, right? Not the Black Chuck Berry, but the
There's two Chuck Berrys.
Yes, there actually is.
I don't even know.
Well,
I don't know either.
The premise of the show was these freaky acts. The freakier, the better. And it was like, America's Got Talent gone bad. But you were awarded by how bizarre you actually were. And it was a really funny show, because it was just odd to watch. Freak show. The freak show factor never gets old. I don't care. They even show the outtakes on The Voice and what have you on America's Got Talent for like some people. Remember the guy, she danced, and yet he became this huge success. So there's something to be said about what does it take to become like instantaneously famous, and it's like, it's amazing, but you're not sitting there too long.
Yeah, like
It's like take the money and run.
yeah, I look at it this way. Like when you think about food, like you could make, some 30-second ramen noodles, and you'll be temporarily satisfied.
This is definitely the talk in the menu of most that the ramen noodles are the like, what do they call that, mainstay of every struggling artist out here in LA, because I've seen some added into the ramen noodles recipes. So I'm like, what you doing with that?
You put onions in it,
everything,
green peppers, carrots,
the magic of it all.
Yeah,
like,
but I haven't had ramen though since high school.
Really? Well, you don't live in LA, right? That's right. Tell them you can be eating that real soon.
Yeah.
Right?
But you can like with like you could have the instant oodles and noodles, or you can be the steak and the lobster. You could be noble,
Yeah, and go broke real quick out here. It's amazing. What you'll find out is that everybody in here is just, it's such a hustle. Mm-hmm. And, people come up and the first thing they want to know is, what do you do? Mm-hmm. So what do you do out here in LA? Yeah. It's like, I try and make it just like everything I possibly can. And when people ask me, that's my answer. Everything I possibly can.
Yeah, the hustle is more spread out too out here. Like, in New York, everybody just on top of each other. And like out here, it's just like spread out. Like you got...
Until you're on the 405.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like you got space, you got a little space, in like the city to like,
No, on the 405, man, you bring out your tweezers and you go for anything, you're tweezing the person next to you. It's just like there's so many people out on the road at certain times. And really, like, you're never one car away from being on time, so I don't know why people get so upset. Like if that one guy up there, and you can see him too, it's like you come over the hill and it's like there's this much space and you're like, you could just close the gap, I could move 6 more inches. Like, okay, this is the insanity that's going to kill you. Right? Right? Because how much traffic do you sit in where you are? And that's a pretty busy area, DC area.
Yeah, it's a lot of traffic. It's a lot.
Well, what about Atlanta now? Do you spend any time in Atlanta?
Not really. I'm actually doing a music video down there soon. I don't really. I'm not a fan of Atlanta.
Now, your video, the music video, Lies, right?
Oh, the Too Many Lies one.
Yeah, Too Many Lies. What brought that about as far as the content and the words? I mean, usually, I don't know if you write from personal experience, if you write from something that's moved you emotionally, someone else's experience, or if you have somebody that is just really good at putting words and working it to a melody, and it's just about finding the right structured words around a theme.
Yeah, so that song in particular, each song is different, when you write them, but this one in particular, like, it kind of wrote itself in a sense, because I was basically telling this girl's story that I know.
Okay.
And
okay. Yeah, so there was some truth to that.
Yeah, I was telling her story, but that story could apply to a lot of women, especially women on social media, because they like to have this whole facade that they're, this whatever they are, but behind closed doors they're like kind of, they got low self-esteem and they dealing with a lot of things.
Yeah, that's so many young women. I mean, it's amazing
everywhere.
To me. It was really I saw a video that somebody done a documentary of a black man or something we were watching. It was something that had been put out, and they were talking about angry black woman, and they had black women that were talking with the commentator, and a lot of the issues that the young black women were talking about, if she comes from, and I'm like, man, that sounds like almost every white young woman I knew growing up. If they have daddy issues, check. If they have a father who wasn't around that, or if he was abusive to the mother, or the mother was saying bad fuck the Academy Awards. I'm not coming up there. You know what? I've apologized. I've done my thing. Excuse me. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, but I know what I've noticed. What I've noticed thus far in being in the public, eye or whatever, they love to highlight the bad stuff. They love that.
Yes.
They love that. Like all the good stuff, like I do. Like, right. It gets attention, but you say one bad thing and it's like, oh my God. Like, when they were showing that R. Kelly documentary, right? Which was horrible. I posted something on Facebook. I said, wow, we just found it. Everyone's just finding out that R. Kelly's a creep or whatever. And I said, hey, the government's still shut down. That's all I said. I fell asleep, woke up. I had over like 500 comments. People were like, oh, you're a monster. I was like, what? I was like, wait, what did I say? And then I went back to what I said. And I was like, wait, I didn't say anything remotely.
Right. And isn't it? And people use that vehicle when, I'm real careful about how I comment because you can see how things fuel.
Yep.
Fuel. And people are angry. And it's not so much about, let me put it this way. It's not so much about looking for a reason to have the vehicle to vent your opinion down somebody's throat. Because I believe I had a saying called respect the feed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And in saying that when you're on somebody else's feed, if you have an opinion, when people go for the throat, it's like, well, the basis of having an opinion is to articulate your point in a way that I can teach me.
Exactly.
If I don't agree with you, we're doing that shit on stage. I'm gonna make comedy hacking out of it.
Like I was like reading all these comments. People were like, you motherfucker die. I'm like, yo, whoa, what is going on? Like,
really?
Yeah, and then you need to read a book. What? I was like, I do read. And then it was just so much. I'm like, and I'm sitting up arguing back with him.
I've seen that. So basically, if you do find that there's a lot of emotion behind. And okay, people talk about, Michael Jackson, everything that, his documentary, then R. Kelly, and they're like, hey, what about, you got Woody Allen.
Yes, it's a
you
whole
got
slew of them.
Elvis Presley, she was 14. Jerry Lee Lewis married his 13-year-old cousin and thought, I don't know what everybody's so upset about, because where they got married, down the South, and the fact they were related, it's legal.
What?
So, that
makes it even more weird, though.
Isn't it? So we're going back to what the 50s were, but a lot of the allegations as far as like, okay, and then let's bring it up to speed, the Archbishop and like one of the highest ranking officers of Pedophiles R Us, otherwise known as Catholic religion. Yeah, it's like, I'm just glad people are being held accountable no matter what. And I think that it's unfortunate that, it isn't an equal playing field. I really do believe that if you're gonna show Michael Jackson in that light, you can do just as much equalizing even if you go to these Hollywood stars that are older now, when they were kids, of what they dealt with as young men. Okay. Yeah. Being accosted. And I mean, I don't know, like, you're going to see a lot of different dialogue. I've even noticed that. Like when you go up and you hug somebody, it's called the church hug now.
Yep.
Exactly. Men are very, are you aware of how you?
Yep. It's like the sideways.
Yes.
Yep.
You're aware of that. Yep. And also as a young black man, it's like, what happened with Jesse has affected, like when somebody goes bad.
Yeah,
it affects you deeply because.
Yeah, that situation was crazy.
I mean,
I was like, was he trying to write a script or something? I was like, was he
like acting it out?
Yeah, I was like,
maybe he should have copped that. Well, I was making this movie, based on reality TV show.
I was like, I got too deep. But
yeah,
I'm like, what?
I really got into my character. Yeah,
I'm like, what would make it? Oh, I'm only making $20,000 a week. Oh, that's why.
Well, dude, that's just like these women we wanted to give our kids a better life with the college issues. With buying, with
Aunt Becky.
Yeah.
So I like, because there's be so much stuff in news. I don't even really try to pay attention to the news anymore. I just I stay abreast and I just, pay attention.
Have you lost oh my God, can you believe that shit's going on? My thing is like, why do people think that they're not going to be caught? Why do people, and I get it because it's been going on for so long, but my mother had a great saying, Annamarie, shit floats. Sooner or later, it all comes to the surface. And it does. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's a saying that isn't as kindly said. What is done in the darkness will be brought into the light. Okay? It's just the way it is. So a lot of these people that are now, it was a big talk. I worked in an event, a lot of very wealthy people, and everybody's buzzing about this big college scandal. So, and what are these people thinking?
Dang. So basically, they bribed the universities.
Everybody was in on it. The guy who, in other words, I hire you as the guy who's going to get my kid in. Okay, you're a consultant, kind of. You're a firm that helps people get their kids in by working through the system, showing you how to do it. This went. Like, they were buying off, hey, doctor, can you say she has a handicap, a learning disability, so she gets more time coaching? It was just endless. Things that never even existed. Some geniuses on Instagram did the, where they do the Photoshop of, like, somebody, playing soccer or whatever it was, just putting their face on a black man, doing something, saying, it wasn't obvious. But I'm just saying that there's so much going on. As a comedian, they did a whole night of that on the talk shows. So that's why I'm saying, as far as like things that are too sensitive, what if you weren't allowed that license? Why life just wouldn't be funny?
Exactly.
It's like, chill out. What? Exactly. Nothing, right?
No, you're right. You're right. Like you gotta poke fun. You gotta it's something funny about everything if you know how to do it. If you know how to do it.
Right. Yeah. And that's the art of comedy. I own that. Disaster to laughter. The art of comedy.
I like disaster to laughter.
But that's what comedians do. I mean, everybody says that. Well, in order to write a joke, I was working with a guy trying to teach me. He goes, I want the worst things your mother ever said to you. And I'm like, how the hell is that funny? Oh, wait, you'll see. And there is this magic that happens with your personal experiences. Now, why is it you're not just focused on one thing?
Because I like to diversify my portfolio.
Okay, I like that.
No, that's like the main thing. But I have a lot of different talents, and I was like, why not utilize them? And each thing I do is it's obviously an outlet, but it's a different outlet. I get it like a different rush from each. Like when I'm doing stand up, that's like the best adrenaline rush you can get. Like if it feels so good, it's like I can kind of.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I think that's probably like
you're commanding the room, right?
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's how people on drugs feel. I guess
it's true.
Yeah,
what the chemical releases in your brain, and you should Google it and look it up. What happens when you're performing and you're in any situation that creates that dopamine rush and all the things? It's like a high, unmatched by any other. And I mean, you ever watch preachers when they're in their zone and they start? They've left. They've zoned off, right?
They be like, and God, I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, they be into it.
I really do think too, as far as you're so young. Right, but imagine your mind. You're like, "What's she talking about? I'm almost 30."
Yeah, I'm almost up
there. That's so funny to hear. but like your creativity level, as far as like everything you're doing, you're also learning.
Yeah.
Do you have a mentor? Do you have people you look up to?
Do I have a mentor? No, not really. I mean, my mentor is the universe.
I like that.
Yeah, that's my mentor. I do look up to people in the industry.
So you don't have somebody that, in other words, somebody who's teaching you. I just learned what mentors do. Say you want to do some type of editing that you don't know how to do, and you find people that are mentoring you in the craft of what you're seeking to get expertise at. So basically, you're obtaining knowledge from people who are willing to teach you. And a mentor isn't to call and drain with your problems. Everybody's got problems. They're there when you say, look, I'm running my business. I need a spreadsheet. I have no idea what that is. And they walk you through that. They tell you how to do it, what you can expect, and what you need if you said, I have a project and this is where the end goal is. What do I need to execute it? And they are the person who says, you need this person, This is what you're looking for. This is how you can execute it. And when you have glitches, you call and say, well, so that's why mentoring, I know a lot of young people don't know about this, and I didn't know until I worked this luncheon. There are incredibly knowledgeable people who are mentors. They actually belong to a mentorship to reach out to young talent to assist them in becoming better at their craft.
So is Will Smith a mentor?
He would make a great. Just check him on Instagram.
Yeah,
he's mentoring every clip he has. He's giving you a deep thought.
Exactly.
Okay.
No, but I look up the Will Smith as far as like entertainment. I've been watching him like all my life. I also love Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is the man. I've been
talk about keeping it real, right?
Yeah, and
talk about keeping it real.
But I mean, as far the closest thing I've got as a mentor, so far is I guess I would say T.K. Kirkland. He had like called me one day and basically was like, "Yo, if you need any advice, call me." So yeah, I guess that's
and to utilize that because the idea of stealing knowledge. You know, you can find that in just about every people really, I would have to say, unless and some of them aren't, not all of them, but willing to share their knowledge as far as what you're doing. And as you want to grow as an artist, do you see yourself more in back of the camera or in front of the camera?
I'm in front.
So we got a ham.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I do like the attention of being in front of the camera, but I do like being behind the camera, like just like producing and like writing. But being in front of the camera is like the girls see that.
It's the girl thing. Yeah, that was why men back in the day were like, "You learn how to play guitar.
Yep.
You don't even play it that good, man. Yep. Just get up on that stage.
Exactly. Just walk around with a motorcycle helmet."
Oh yeah,
just walk around with a motorcycle,
as if.
Yeah, just walk around. Just
walk around as if.
Just walk around with a motorcycle. I mean, she's like,
you, sweetie.
Oh.
And that's something that basically, I would have to say at 26 should be interested in as far as like being in front of the camera. All right, you're tall. There's a friend of mine, Stefano Sway, and I keep messing up his name. He is 6'7". I made the mistake of saying he was 6 feet. And he does modeling, and he's just exactly if you were going to look for as far as like what his image is or his brand is. He's 29, so you're all at this age where you have this huge road ahead of you, and a lot of you are more ahead of the game because of technology. Yeah. You're able to see there's more to it. You have to have a business sense.
You gotta have a business sense. And plus, like what I do is how I learned how to do everything pretty much. I actually started doing stand up when I was like 15. That was the first time I started doing stand up. And then I accidentally got into music. Then I started taking acting classes around the same time, so like 15, 16ish, and then like starting like how to build business and stuff. And like branding and all this stuff, and like stuff with music, like registering with BMI and like BDS spins and all that stuff. I just Googled all of that, and that's how I learned it.
A lot.
Google and YouTube.
Right, Google and YouTube.
Yep.
We'd be like, if you didn't look it up in the dictionary, you had to go look it up in your Wikipedia, do a report. And now it's amazing because everything can be Googled.
Yep.
It's just insane.
Everything.
And you want to know how to do that? Google it. And I'm like, wow, it's amazing. And there is a certain amount of like, the night I had to do my 5 minutes, I spent the whole night before Googling stand-up comedy, how to be a good stand-up. Mm-hmm. I watched people's first stand-up, and I went, okay, so I got it. So set up punch, do this, also don't move out of your light, which I didn't know. I watched the clip myself, and I went out of the spotlight. You have to be aware of all of that. Mm-hmm. You can walk side to side, but don't walk too far, so there's a lot of learning. What is it that you like as far as like the genre? Do you like the music better, the comedy better, or acting?
That's tough. That's really tough.
It is, huh?
That's really tough. My goal as a comedian always has been to do one stand-up special, and that's it. and then to like do more like film work and stuff, film content. That's always been like the end goal. But now, like with music, like I'm really, really liking music. I like the recording process. I've done a couple music shows, about 4, and those was like really fun. It seemed like adrenaline rush with stand up, but it's easier than stand up because
No, there's a lot of people that would beg to differ with you on like stand up being the hottest thing, and other people are like, at least acting, you have a script,
yeah,
you have direction,
yeah,
you have a point to stand,
Yep.
and you have somebody you're playing off of.
yep.
Who's going to respond exactly how
Yep.
they're supposed to. I'm thinking stand-up comedy, not so much.
Stand up comedy is the hardest thing because like when I did a music show, like if you forget the lyrics, which I did, like people could like
You just mumble over it.
yeah, or if the audience know it, they'll help you out. But if like you don't stand up, it's just you on the stage.
That's right.
So it's just
and
like
you're being judged word for stinking
you
word.
you like the hot dog in the 7-Eleven in the what is it, like you've been roasted,
the grill?
the grill, yeah, like when you in
Yeah, the
70
rotisserie.
yeah, I'm vegan, I don't be knowing like the meat stuff.
I was going to be like, you would not eat a 7-Eleven
Yeah.
hot dog. Yeah, you hungry enough. It's 2 a.m. Yeah, some of the guys talk about that, the 7-Eleven pizzas.
Uh-huh.
You can't go wrong with the 7-Eleven
Yeah.
pizza. I'm like, I don't
Yeah,
know
you
about that.
that.
To me, the only thing worse is a 7-Eleven hot dog.
Oh,
it's like,
God.
we even know that.
Them
That's
donuts be like that hard.
Yeah.
Be like, yo, like
Well, we're speaking from that drive-through. When you're hungry and it's the only place to stop in town, you'd be surprised how many bag of chips you can eat. Yeah, the whole thing of watching, somebody such as yourself, and from where you are, where you're going, you have a great business sense. You know how to your merchandise. I'm telling you right now. Oh, I got your hat right here, and your merchandise.
I gotta get you the newer
which
hats
is the
because-
newer hats. But you got some stuff. The cap that you have on, Tony Cobain, laughter is life. It really is.
It is.
It's
It is.
actually the breath of life.
Yep,
That
laughter is life.
all right. If I just can't, I just can't say it enough with what people. I always say, if you don't support your comedians, life just wouldn't be funny. And you don't really realize that until you're in a situation where you have that friend that's capable of making you laugh, and it breaks. There is the demons like. Forget holy water to exercise. Crack them up. Demons don't like that shit.
No.
Okay, no demon hangs around somebody who's got a good sense of humor and a lot of laughter.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever seen that? No, right? Oh wait, Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice had a great.
yeah,
Beetlejuice
yeah,
had a great sense of humor,
yeah.
but there you go.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah,
That's a classic. Tim Burton.
You know what? I hope that the more content I see coming out, there is like. Where you see real life with a twist on it, throw in a little bit of animation, imagination, and then you get the hit me with the punchline.
Yeah, like I love Tim Burton stuff because like from Beetlejuice and the first 3 Batman movies. I don't know if you with Jack Nicholson, then
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton, then like number 2 with Penguin and 3 with like the Jim Carrey one. Like how he created those worlds,
Yeah, it's amazing. When you look at the process, like I said, the process of what you're doing, there's so many ways that you can create something, right, for film.
Yep.
And I'm wondering where technology, because really you can create everything on the computer.
Yep.
With green screens and all the wiring and everything
you can
that
film
they
movies
do.
on your iPhone now.
Oh man,
that's crazy.
There's a lot of pissed off people who went to film school.
Yep.
And bought all kinds of like, what's he doing? Oh yeah, he just said forget it.
$1,000 for an iPhone.
Right?
And boom.
And as far as recording goes, when you go into the other thing is figuring out your budget for what you do, because everything is really kind of expensive out there. And so I personally have learned that if you're in the recording studio for anything, voiceovers, if you want to do, you got to know what your budget is and what you're getting for the money, and you better get it in writing.
Yep.
This thing out in L.A. where you just take somebody's word for it, if you exchange 50 cents, I don't care what it is, you better have a contract because it really is a land of taking. take him for a fool. He said, what? And you believe that? Yeah. Yeah. You believed what? Get out? What do you mean get out?
I feel sorry for like some of the gullible women. I feel sorry. I was talking to one of my friends. He was like, yo, you could be out there telling women like, I mean, you are, but you could be out there telling women like, yeah, I can put you in a movie and she'll fall for. I'm like, man, I ain't going to do that.
What do you think? I'm Weinstein?
Yeah, I'm like, what? You trying to get me? You trying to create
Well, dude, there was another
Me Too
guy that
Part
just
2.
got caught.
Oh, dang.
They
getting caught every other day. Like,
well, he's a big deal. An
Oh,
Asian, he's I just saw it. It was so quick that it came across my feed, but he had to resign, and he was just handed some big contract to represent something in the industry because the girl had text messages that he had sent her. I'm like, people, so you know, text messages don't go away unless you hit delete.
yeah.
And if you're empowering, I don't know, to me, I would think men really got to reevaluate how they're doing business with the females because this is where we're at.
Yep.
You know, like I said. And as far as like being your age and the young women that you work around, these women are smart. They're savvy. They are goal-oriented in a way. They're creators. And I mean, as a man, you better, to me, you better be like a good, strong, you know, because women are asking more of men as far as goal-oriented in your generation.
Yep.
It's like, so what are you doing?
Exactly.
Where are you going?
What's your 5-year plan? What do you see yourself in 10 years? Like, whoa.
Right?
Can we finish eating first? Like, yo, we ain't even ordered dessert. Like,
Right,
what are you talking about? But
you
I
find-
answer it though. They be like, oh, okay, wow.
And they do say that now because a friend of mine is young. He says, you have no idea. You were the generation of, he's really cute. He's so cute. And now it's like, what's your 5-year plan?
Yeah, you like, man.
Do you have health insurance? What?
I had one woman tell me like so she told me, I was like, what? I was like, cut it out. Like she was like so we were talking and we was talking about plans and then I was like, oh, so what's your plan? She was like, oh, I'm waiting for you to be rich so I can be a housewife.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what?
That
I was like, what? I known you for a week.
Yeah, as a friend of mine said, the selfie shots of women giving it, the young girls giving it, they're all behind. Their room isn't even picked up.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't care how good you know how to make a bed, you know how to cook a meal, you know how to, yeah. So it's really interesting as far as dating goes because I've been single for 32 years, and what.
You say you have been single?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I haven't
okay.
been single for 32 years, and just being single.
Oh, you're married?
That I was,
Okay.
and now I'm single, and what the
okay.
world is like, it's like, yeah, a lot of people are like, I'd rather stay married than be out there. It's like, okay, well, I'd rather just be alone because that option wasn't good, and now the idea of being single, it's very empowering.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you know what you're capable. Like at my age, I know what I'm capable of on my own. And yet, you know, like I look at young women who have, and I've met some women that have a lot of stuff going for themselves and they get distracted by a bad relationship. Shocked by how many women I'm like, why would you?
Yep.
But I remember that because young and stupid isn't just a phrase for nothing.
Exactly.
You know? I mean, you must see it, right? With some of your friends, young girls.
Yeah. I see it a lot. I just sit back and watch. I was like,
Do you have that one friend that complains a lot about the guy and she just keeps going back? Are you the guy that's going to be like, you know what? The story's getting old.
I had a few girls like talking to me about guys that was doing them wrong and like, oh, this guy he doesn't have goals and he's cheating on me and stuff like that, and like they venting to me, and then like next thing you know I'm going out with them and then they're back with the other guy.
Oh wait, yeah. that why does the girl always want, when you're younger, and a lot of times, there's a lot to be said about that as far as shows go. No, not shows, but like the idea of the bad guy, rebel without a cause, back in the 50s, there was always the wise guy. Even Fonzie had that,
the
leather jacket, I'm a bad boy. And now it's like for the guy from the hood or the
tattoos in the
tattoos.
face.
the grill,
Yeah.
and the yo what up and what have you, and I'm just like, okay, what's your 5-year plan?
Exactly.
As far as like, it's really, I guess it's a type of people that you're gonna meet, and in your case, where you're the nice guy that the mother likes,
Yeah.
you know,
I have no tattoos at all. People be surprised by that.
Yeah, I don't even think you could get away with trying to be badass.
Nah, I was joking. I was telling this girl because they was like, oh, so you really a rapper now? And I was like, yeah. They was like, but you don't look like a rapper. And I was like, what does a rapper look like? I mean, Will Smith is a rapper.
Right, but
in Childish Gambino, aka was Donald Glover.
Right.
They a rapper, and then so I was like, you know what? Next time I saw this girl, I was like, yeah, I just got Thug Life tatted on my stomach. She's like, no, really? I was like, yeah. Yeah, she was like, let me see. I was like,
that makes it official, right? That's like a tramp stamp for men.
Like, yeah, I was like, yeah.
Thug Life.
Yeah, and I was like, I got Tupac tattoo right there too. She's like, oh, what? Let me see. I was like, I didn't.
No, right? And well,
I'm ticklish. I don't think I could get tattoos.
Yeah. So I don't even think you could play that. I mean, that would be your ultimate acting.
Yeah.
Is if you could really play.
Yeah, that's gonna be a challenge. The bad boy.
You to play a bad boy, like a really evil. You could. I mean, you have the looks to play that. You just would have to change how generous your smile is.
Yeah.
Because
I smile a lot. I'm a goofy person.
You do. That's not being goofy. It's just a generous smile. And like, unless you got to have a crazy look in your eye, you know, that way where the eyes stay dead straight, but the smile is kind of broad. That's the evil ass crazy.
My end goal, like I don't want to like as far as movies, I don't want to do comedy movies because I don't want to be like boxed into like a genre. I want to do stuff like Jack Nicholson, like The Shining and stuff like that, and what's another movie? I don't know if you remember this one, Mark Wahlberg from Fear. That was one of my favorite. I love that movie. But I'm doing this movie in July, and I don't think I should like spoil the beans. But
isn't that the NDA thing?
Yeah, I mean, but my production company is producing it. So
are you playing a bad guy? And that would just make it simple.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna get to see you in that role.
Yeah.
That would be like me playing the church lady. I could do it. All right, but yeah, I mean, they always say that. Like, I had one guy.
I see you being a church lady.
Well, you know, it's really funny because
just get one of those big hats.
How people, not the black church lady, the white church lady.
They be having a fruit basket.
I'd be videoing your ass at the barbecue. That's right. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm gonna get a video of these people.
The black church, they be having fruit baskets. I'm like, yo, let me get a pair. She'd be like, it's not real. I'm like,
oh, I know. I gotta love that. Like,
yo, you got some apples like on the head.
You got they got a hat game like no other. And that, to be said too, is also like the outfits that some of the gentlemen of your culture wear. And my father was Sicilian. My father was a dapper dresser. He had swagger. Nice. But you know, that whole thing is like you have a sense of style. I mean, everyone does, but then there's those people that set the trend of styles. Like there's something to be said about that, because you rely on merchandise. You know, as I've noticed a lot of comedians depend on selling their merchandise at the show. Now, I've walked up to merchandise and you wonder, how can I help you? Because I was in sales. What do I see that you could kind of go better on, and you would sell twice of the amount of what people are looking at? You know, I know that hats, the way that hat is made, that's expensive because you have it embroidered, and that's a nice hat. So to get that profit margin on your hat, you have to be in an area where, you know, you're not playing to a bunch of broke asses.
Yep.
So, you know, club dates can go anywhere. Stoner Rob had pins made.
Oh, yeah.
Which a lot of people are doing.
Yeah.
They're really popular.
Yeah,
and he had himself animated.
Yeah, you can get like 1,000 pins made for I think it was $100.
Right.
Yeah. And if you sell them for 50 cents.
Right.
Yep.
So, and having that, like I said, you have to create something that people want to buy. Otherwise, your merchandise is getting dust on it. You know, most bands have been selling T-shirts for years. Comedians all sell T-shirts, but I'm like, You know, and the bands.
Oh yeah,
the rubber
yeah.
bands. Okay, but
I just like the sales stuff. Like my father is a salesman, and I was like selling with him since I was like 7. So I just like selling too. Like all this stuff is selling your jokes, selling the music, it's selling. Like the hats, the shirts, like the jackets. I'm even about to do some cereal.
Are you really?
Yeah, some vegan cereal. Yeah. Do the cereal. What else? The hat, shirts, jackets.
I need to put you in touch with a friend of mine because I talked about him on my last show with Tangerine. His name is Dr. Pooch. You need to look him up. But his thing is young kids and vegan. Because of the way the trend is going. I was looking at this woman's skin. And by the way, even, I know he's 26. Don't give me any grief over that. But even, it does show in the skin of what you eat.
Yeah, and I'm tired right now. And like my face been breaking out because of allergies. So yeah, like it looks better than this.
My face breaks out in chin hair. We don't get, it's just an age thing. But yes. And you look at people and I never realized that what you put into your body is what comes out. She was hilarious. She's like, I got girls calling me and they want to know why Miss Thing's so stinky. And I said, what are you eating? And I'm like, oh my God. She's like, food, it's, you know, if you've ever been around somebody who eats a lot of garlic, that comes out of their pores.
Yep.
Okay. And it's like, you'd like to say to them, there's another way to ingest garlic that you don't literally repulse people and small animals when you walk into a room. Yet you really do have to have a knowledge as far as the way foods are made. Vegan, you know, there's a lot of people who think vegan is, you know, you can get pretty fat on vegan food.
You can't. I actually gained weight.
Yeah.
I gained like 15 pounds. I didn't know that because I thought like, oh, it's vegan. So I'm eating like, because like a lot of people think, I got friends that always clown me. A lot of people always think that like being a vegan, you just eating, you know, tree barks and like,
yes,
plants, but not like I eat vegan steak and cheese, vegan burgers.
Right, but what those are made like that Impossible Burger, which is amazing. Yeah. By the way, it's amazing. Yeah. But I've also heard too much soy isn't good, especially if you're a man.
Yep.
Right, and it's like,
yeah.
It's there's a certain thing of balance in your life and with everything that you do, and plant-based products are obviously going to be the best. But what people don't realize is like this is really, it's a demand on your body when you get to a certain age that if you haven't invested in exercise, simple things, exercising, mind, feeding your brain, that is one of the most important, feeding your brain, meditating, but also socializing, you know, enjoying laughter. Like I say to people, go to a comedy show.
Yeah.
Go see a comedian. Go through Instagram and look for your comedy skits.
Yep.
When you're having a crappy day at work, put your headphones in, take a break, and go watch some of my guys on Instagram.
Yep.
and it's so it really does it can make a difference in your day to value that ability as much as it is to go to the movies and escape through a fantasy that, you know, it's Cinderella and she gets a shoe and Prince Charming saves, you know, that fantasy.
Yep.
Ain't happening. But it's like, right? Wouldn't you say that creating that that outlet, comedy is probably one of the best vehicles in which, you know, you like being the driver of? And then on the flip side of that, when you listen to your song, and I'm going to kill what's his name because I really wanted to play that. The emotion that you have, it's about addiction, and it's about what is true about addiction. They lie about their addiction because there's shame that goes with that. There's pain that affects everybody who has any kind of relationship and cares for the addicted user or the addict. I'm sorry. And you actually profile that so well in the song because the young woman that plays in the video, you know, most people think of addicts, back alley, meth things. Exactly. But that's not what it is. Anything from alcoholism to just prescription drugs.
Yep.
You know, you watch people just disappear every day in front of your face.
Yep.
You know, there was just another, you know, comedian that passed away, George Foreman's daughter. Oh, yeah. Just passed away. Yeah. And it's just like, there's a serious issue, and people talk about it, handling mental illness, okay, the mental health of people, even in comedy. And we all know that most comedians are dealing with a lot. That's where they end up in comedy, their own life experiences of overcoming things and disaster to laughter. They make it funny, but off stage, they suffer with a lot of anxiety, depression. And, and I know you're not going to walk up to somebody. It takes a lot to say, I'm really depressed and I don't know how to get out of this. Because what do people say? Come on, man, things are going to get better.
Yep.
People, you really have to dive in when you see somebody. And I don't know if you've had any friends that have suffered from depression where you you don't know what to say.
I do have a friend who was like suffering from depression. I had no idea I was lost for words. I didn't know what to
say. And I think one of the things, as far as like teaching kids in school, better communication, that ability to communicate at a young age, certain emotions. That's why toddlers have tantrums.
Yeah.
Because they're at the cusp of, I can talk almost. I got all these things I want to say. Oh my God, I can't express my feelings. Ah! Well, we do that as adults, especially, we'll take it. Anger is always comfortable. I don't know why that is, but most people's anger is the good one. Yeah. It's okay to be angry, but to be, isn't it weird?
Yeah.
How people handle that?
Yeah. I be having road rage sometimes. So and
don't
anger,
live in LA.
Yeah, and anger, that's like always just like the first choice. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I really do think too that you as a person would look totally out of place angry as much as have you ever seen somebody that looks really weird laughing? Like they're so straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever seen, do you know who Sam Donaldson is, the newscaster?
No.
Okay, he was a newscaster, very well known, in the nightly news and what have you. And you always saw him from the head up. And then they did a full body shot, and his hands look like, it was just weird because you never saw his hands. And now you see his hands, and they're lame, and they kind of like when he talks, and I'm like, that's the freakiest thing I have ever seen. And that's wow, it just totally changed your perspective. There's actually Menino, who was the mayor of Boston.
Mm-hmm.
He had to actually take lessons on how, because he looked so awkward. You looked uncomfortable when he talked, and you'd get like, wow, that guy's just making me uncomfortable just watching him. What about that? I mean, when you're on stage as a comic, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can either work that in your routine. The idea of being uncomfortable, like Andy Kaufman, when he used to play.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I saw Jim Carrey did the movie, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
You have I mean, I know a certain persona when you're on stage. You're tall. You're very relaxed when you're telling your jokes. You have a great smile, so they can see it from like the store next door. They know you're up there smiling. Preacher Lawson has the same exact.
Preacher Lawson. I know his brother Justin.
Right.
Yeah.
But I saw them and doing a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
What a total different energy that was. And I went, I'll be damned. There's a lot to be said about the energy you receive from an audience as a comedian, right?
Yep.
To where, okay, if you were in a room full of people this big, let's say the room's this big, you walk through the door and I say, Tony's a comedian. Tony, make us laugh. Do a comment. Could you break into a joke right then and there?
I mean, to be honest, not really, but I could just, crack some jokes.
Okay.
But
would you be uncomfortable on the spot like that?
I mean, depends. I mean, so, that happens to me quite, like people just be like, tell us a joke.
Okay.
And I'd be like, yo, like, I'm not like a show horse, like, be like, yeah.
But a lot of comedians say that, there's got to be, first of all, the idea of standing, and I don't want to ask you, I had to sing once where there was no stage. So I was on the same level as the people in front of me. And a lot of these comedians, they play a restaurant. So you're standing next to you and you're eating at a table. And I'm like, oh, that's the weirdest energy. Yeah. I don't care if you give him a soapbox. Even the guy with to prove a point had a soapbox for a reason, And let's go right down to the shoes is why you have to be lifted. And the Chinese emperors used to wear heels. They originated high heels because that elevation gave them a feeling of higher up, superior, the higher you were to the gods.
Huh.
So that's why stage, when you're on stage, if I had you come to a restaurant, I would love to say to restaurant owners, you need to invest in, even if it's just a palette, and you want to throw like something on top of it that looks stagey, like, you know, that green AstroTurf. You can get it in whatever, get it in black.
Yeah.
But give them, even if it's 4 inches up off the ground, you have stage presence. That's what that means, stage presence.
Yep.
So have you ever played where you're like, even Steven, with the person that you're either singing?
Yeah. I've done stand-up. Like, this was early on. I've done stand-up in restaurants, like pizza. Like, one of the weirdest spots was a pizza parlor.
Right.
I did that.
Well, there's one in LA that has a little room off to the side of their pizza place.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah. Dino's Pizza, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, stop.
But so you do feel a difference.
Yeah, it feels weird. Like, one time I did this show in Brooklyn in Canarsie Park, and it was weird because the guy who booked the show, like, he was full of shit. So he's one of these dudes you just don't believe. Like, I remember one time he was like, "Hey, yo, Tony, I'm gonna bring you to this party in Midtown. I'm gonna have, like, just tell him my name at the door. Everybody's expecting you." And he's like, and I'm like, "Oh, snap, really? Whoa!" And he's like, I get there. I'm like, "Hey." I ain't gonna say his name. I'm like, so and so. I'm here with so and so. Who?
Oh, snap.
I was like, so and so from so and so Productions. Nah, we don't know that person. And I was like, oh my God, that's embarrassing. And then
Isn't it?
Yeah. And so he's a liar. So he booked this show. This was like 2 years later. He's like, yeah, man, it's this event we're having at Canarsie Park. It's a church. It's a kid friendly event. No, none of that Eddie Murphy stuff. I was like, okay, whatever. So I was like, I'm gonna just go and do what I normally do, stand up wise. I just thought he was full of shit. So I was like, I didn't know what to expect from him. So when I get to this place, it's in the park. It was no stage. It was just like chairs, and I was in front of the chairs in grass, and it was a legit church function.
Ooh,
and so
no wonder why he
like,
didn't want you to do any Eddie Murphy
so
stuff.
I was like, oh no, I thought he was lying. So I was like, I just went in. I was like, I did my regular like routine, and then like at the end, like I felt some water like hit my face, and I was like, what is that? And the lady said it was holy water.
Oh,
like,
we're trying to excise demons
I was
out
like,
of you.
yo, like, it caught me off guard because like
You think?
it was
That
rough.
somebody was spitting on you from the
Yeah,
front
like
row?
the show was rough because it was like where's the Jesus stuff? Like I'm like,
Oh, that's hilarious.
yeah, I was like, I'm talking about my girlfriends and all this other stuff, and they like, I see why she left you. I was like, oh my God.
Come on, church
I was like,
people.
oh, you came alone too.
Oh,
and then
hecklers, right?
Yeah, I was like, Jesus ain't coming for you, and it just went downhill from there.
Just went downhill from
It just
there.
went downhill.
But yeah, so you had that bomb out. I remember having the show where they were like talking about, like, they wear it like trophies. How you know, not badges, right? So, you know, the comedian's saying, I survived this. Imagine this. You know, the guy that survived, was it Tyrese Spivey? He was talking about his mom was actually videotaped. Go ahead, baby, and they were booing him. It was at Sean G. Grant, but the whole gist of it was his mother's getting him being booed, and she's like, "Go ahead, baby, you're doing good." And you know, the father's, you know, my mother and my father, and I'm getting booed, and I can't imagine getting back up. You know, and I've said that to all the comedians. How do you overcome that? And they all say, because I know I'm better than that. I know I can do it.
It hurts.
It's like, I'm going to, the worst, and they all, like I said, it's like war stories. You think that's bad. I was in such and such.
So I never got booed before, but so I like the first time I did stand up, I was 15, and it was at school, and we was supposed to do some assignment, and I was like, I'm gonna just write some jokes, and then so I had a set. And then so it was like, hey, you're up first. I was like, okay. Then I just told all these jokes in front. It had to be about 60 people, and everybody was just laughing. I was like, oh snap! So that was stand up technically, and then so
Did you get a good good response rather from the audience?
Killed it, but I didn't do the assignment, so I didn't pass.
Nice.
Yeah, we had to do some weird assignment. I just wrote some jokes and yeah, but then like the first time I did stand up, like actual stand up, it was that was July, August, and it was a month. It was like a month or two later, and then so I got booked to perform, and it was like 3 or 5 minutes. It was like 3 or 5 minutes, and I killed. I was like, oh, wow, that was easy. So I'm going back to school like on Friday. I'm walking around like I'm Kevin Hart or somebody. I'm like, yo,
that
y'all
right?
know who I am. Even nobody saw it. Like nobody at school. It was just like
15 seconds of fame.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of adults at the place, and like nobody from like school like knew I was a comedian. And so I'm like, oh man, I'm funny. And then so the booker was like, oh man, can you come back next week and can you do we gonna move you to the second the second act or whatever. And I'm like, oh snap, yeah. So I'm on this high for a whole week, and then so I'm so pressed. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing stand up again, blah blah blah. Yeah. So I get to the show that the next Thursday, and I forgot to write a set. And then so I was like, I just go up there, wing it.
It's bad, right?
That silence killed me.
Oh, the wind blowing through.
I'm not gonna lie. I was like 16. I went home and cried.
Well, yeah.
I cried. I was like,
I would have to be 16. Of course you did.
I threw away my composition book. I was like, I suck.
I'm never gonna get up and do that again.
Yeah. Then I took like I think maybe like three months off or something because I was like, oh my god.
So you go from that, and I mean, like I said, you're doing a lot of different stuff. You are on your social media. You work. I mean, it's a 30-second response time from you. You work your social media. Yeah. And you have to work every avenue.
Yeah.
You work your merchandise. You are promoting your music. You tag everybody. You go back and forth with the people that are following you.
You got to communicate. You got to.
Yeah, and
some people don't.
and grow that because it's a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just put yourself out there occasionally. They'll forget about you.
Exactly.
They have a 30-second Instagram attention span. So you have to be able to grab their energy enough that they want to come back and see what else you're doing.
Yep.
So when they see, oh, Tony Cobain's going live, and I love, watching some people that do their live, and they're big deals, and they don't have a billion hits immediately, although Kevin Hart does, but, or Will Smith, but even some of the guys that are performing, you see them watching. One of the comedians did a great spot, G. King. He did a he did a thing where, the loneliness of waiting for your followers, or it says, all right, I'm waiting. And it was just, it was great. All right, yeah, we got one.
Because
when
it's like
hold on. Now, we got to give that some time. I got you. So you're busy. I get it. So, what time? And he just kept, really pointing out why I've never done a live. Yeah. I've always done, other than this show, like, I'm going to pre-record that video and upload it. I don't give a shit. I do not want to see nothingness. Right? We're preparing an audience. Yeah. It's like that visual where they say, we are preparing an audience. Oh, and then there was, like, Tony's having a watch party. Now that's the new thing they have out. Yeah. And I'm like, why is everybody selling watches all of a sudden?
Yeah, I didn't even know what that was. Right, my mother had invited me to a watch party. I'm like,
they're watching something. Like I could say, Annamarie's having a watch party. Let's watch the show together. Invite your friends. And I'm like, oh, so they are thinking up, because they're on it, on how to get more people directed towards whatever it is that you're doing, creating these groups outside of now just comments. That's how the genius of Facebook works. Mm-hmm. So you need to have that in your social media to have that interaction, and no one's doing it better right now. Clayton Thomas he's making it like his mission to interact with his audience. He'll go on Instagram and ask them what y'all want to see. I mean, have you thought about that? What do you like about this? And he waits for that feedback. Ask me a question Do you like this character? I'm just looking, is this something I should continue or should I move on to something else? So he polls his fans.
Yeah.
And makes them feel, they like to feel important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because when you get to that big star status and they see you in line at Starbucks and they are like spitting on you and themselves because they can't get out words fast enough. All right, that was me when I met King Batch. I admit it. I was there. I couldn't get it out fast enough.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God. He must be still like, there was this crazy woman who spoke in bullet points and incomplete sentences. And I got a show, and you, and on Instagram, and you're a star. Oh, my God, you're an introvert. I watched that. But you got to see me, and then you do this other. I had cold medicine. It was insane. I could not believe that the one guy that I've been trying to meet and try and get something said.
At Starbucks.
I look like, and he has this picture of this face that he said caption, and where he's like smiling at the camera, and I go, crazy ass smile. I go, oh, that was the face you had was I cannot escape this woman. So I'm just going to go until she runs out of breath or my order's ready. It was hilarious. And, you know, the whole thing about being recognized and being asked for your photograph, you do realize that. I mean, part of fame is like you lose a certain amount of anonymity. That
actually happened to me a few times already, and I was like, what?
Well, with that, what song? That song that you had that was that did really well on the charts.
Oh well, not Too Many Lies was on the radio.
Okay.
And the new single Twerkathon.
You're right, but it did.
Yeah, I'm not doing a video or anything for that, but it's so actually I did the like poll thing on Instagram for that song. The people named that song. And
oh really?
Yeah, because I said should I name this song either Twerkathon or that twerk song, whatever it was. And they picked Twerkathon, and it's doing a lot, but yeah, like
oh, I saw it. Right. Well, anytime now, just so you know, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but if you show a good Twerkathon, you're gonna get viewers. Yep. Right? You got a good beat, you got twerking, you got booty, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. Now, at Chocolate Sundays, which they run, Ron G does it. If you guys get a chance at the Laugh Factory. Yeah. Incredible show. That guy puts on a 7:30 and 9:30 show. Shout out to him. Chocolate Sundays is a blast. But he'll do where, you know, any white women want to come up and twerk. Okay? Because, I mean, show respects where it's due. Man, them sisters, queens can twerk. And they say, well, that's because, you know, the way our genetics are is we have that. And I'm like, whatever it is, I know. So my friend goes, I'm going to teach you how to twerk. And I'm like,
uh-oh.
The last thing my daughters need to see is their mother up on some ass stage. Oh, look, Ma's twerking now. I'm thinking not, okay? Even if I could do it, and I can dance, but I kind of draw the line. Nobody needs to see my old ass twerking anywhere. And it's really kind of funny how, you know, the videos that you see the most follows on is like you'll go, I don't know about you, but there's some of it where I'm like, why do people waste their time looking at this? Again, it's that Gong Show factor. I gotta see it.
Yeah.
I can't look away. I don't know if you know, there was somebody got hacked and there was graphic, I don't know, homosexual porn. And they had an apology.
Oh, I think Ozuna.
Right?
Ozuna, the Puerto Rican.
Whoa.
Yeah. I love Ozuna too.
He goes, oh, I apologize. And I go, I am still trying to unsee what I saw. But I admit it. I couldn't look away. I was like, freak.
So that was true?
Yeah.
My sister sent that to me. She was like, I didn't know Ozuna was gay. I was like, what? I was like,
yes,
really?
it was so great. Now my mind goes, how in the world didn't Instagram pull this down and yet they'll pull down political comments from some of my, shall we say.
Yep.
Yeah. And it really amazes me is that even got through because it was graphically just.
Oh, man. I don't even want
to. Talk about it in your face and everybody else's.
Man.
Don't even know that.
I don't even want to imagine that. Oh, yeah. God.
But, you know, that whole thing, too, it's like what people will look at. Like I said, what drives views. And there's this knowing your audience. And there's like, how do you. Oh, it was exhausting today with social media. And it's actually a business upon a business. If I was a young person, because my brain cells would still be thoroughly intact, the knowledge you guys have, and because you're getting, you know, I'm watching my grandson at 2, they know how to work so much stuff. But I will say this. I said to my daughter, there's a thing called imagination. that's going to hinder.
Mm.
You need to take that away and give him la-la-lu time is what I call it. Be it music, put him in the corner with his drum set, telling him stories, teach him how to... I still believe in the basics of the mind.
Yeah.
And that I agree technology is just incredible. It's here to stay. But I also know there's a zone of your childhood that should be... That'll never get old.
Yeah, too much of everything
There's
is
discovery.
like not good. Like you gotta... I tried... What I've been doing in 2019 so far, I try to go a whole 24-hour day. Nothing. No technology.
Really?
No social media and like no phone.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Even
it's tough.
but what you don't realize, and it happened when I got sick. Even maintaining and trying to like maintenance websites and going on, make sure you comment and you're networking, you're doing this. It is that takes away a lot of energy, and you're giving a lot of energy, and there's a certain amount of draining that people don't realize that you can't get when you go walk. And it's a proven fact. Put your toes in the dirt, you know, and you know, recharge your brain. And I really do believe it helps you creative. Because if you're going, it's no fun anymore. You're gonna lose a little of that light, right?
Yeah, I'd be up at like 2, 3 a.m. just responding to people messages and stuff, like comments and DM messages and stuff.
Oh, I feel so bad for you. What is that like?
No, and it's like Twitter, Instagram, and like I'll be like,
Talk to me.
My God. I mean, I like to respond to everybody individually, but it's like, whew.
Yeah, because you got a good number of followers and
tough.
You're building it up. And I've asked that. There are some. I was surprised at some of the bigger names that actually did go into their DM and respond. When you see they're up there in the 100,000 plus views that maintenance. And I've had a lot of teachers come through the store and teach me about being humble and grace. That, you know, it's just there are so many good people in this industry that outweigh the bad. I guess it's where you want your focus.
Yeah.
You know, there'll always be fake people. There'll always be the mean person, the jealous person.
Yep.
Like the guy who, hey, just drop my name at Louis, drop the name Louis. Drop my name, you'll get him places. Who the fuck is that? Yeah, we don't know him. Get back it. Right?
Yep.
And there is also that the people that are only around you because they think you're going somewhere, so they had better at least, you know, do that smooth thing that they do. They don't really care about you, but just in case you make it, they want to seem as if they did.
Yeah, people be giving me free stuff because like I be getting free food and everything. Like they be like, oh yo, yeah. So like I've gotten all type of like free clothes. I get free food a lot.
But can I ask you, because I usually try and ask all the comedians.
I got a watch one time.
Get out.
Yeah.
But didn't have a watch party. Do you have any like passion for like Boys and Girls Club, but you know, something that you do outside of?
Oh yeah.
Please let people know what is close to your heart.
Yeah, I'm always in the community. I've been doing this for like 2 years now. I do it mainly on Saturdays and Sundays. I go out and feed the homeless. Last November, I gave out a bunch of turkeys. I like to give. I do stuff like that. Even if I'm at a store, like, cause I be getting free food and stuff. And I'm like, I can pay for it, but they be like, oh no. So stuff like, I'll be out somewhere and I like get people's food and stuff for them. You know, stuff like that. Just doing nice stuff.
Well, I just got a text from my guy who should have been here. Look what it says.
I'm blind. I can't see that. Turn off the microphone. No. How long have we...
I'm like, what? Yeah. So basically, I'm leaving town tomorrow. My show is over. I know that we would still be streaming on live. What we're doing right now is signing off the show. I want to make sure that when I go on, that it's really funny. Yeah, he got called away on an emergency. That's where he said he was going. This has never happened. We saved that just for you. And he said to me, he just came on and said, they're all saying it, that whatever was going on with my technology tonight, that we weren't able to He said it was on YouTube Live. There we go. So, that being said, I'm going to sign off now. We're going to turn off the microphones. I hope that when you make the big time, you remember this isn't your first radio show. I've seen you've done some.
Some, you know.
So, okay.
You know, a little bit.
And we'll wish you well back on where you go. I just hope that whatever they see, this is on my personal page now, that you'll come back on when things really blow up. And
yeah, I love LA. I'm going to be out here a lot more now.
And you get a capable Uber driver, my friend.
Yeah. Gotta pray on that.